Welcome to the IVM Podcast Network.
Episode 39 of Cyrus Says was released on October 15th, 2015.
Just to remind everybody that language usage and content that we provide here may be disturbing, disgusting, probably will be and should be. Words like bloody custard and words that rhyme with that may be featured. Actually will be featured. In fact, perhaps will only be featured. Just warning you.
You're listening to Cyrus Says.
Yes, it's called Cyrus Says, and I've just come back from a visit to the doctor. Looking at me, you'd think I should spend much more time with the doctor. Fair enough, or the vet. But the point is, I'm a little upset with the way the doctors have this subculture in India and Mumbai especially, where they call 476 people at the same time. I was given a 4 o'clock time to attend to a certain problem with my lower body, which I can't mention on air. And then I came in and thought I was the guy who would at 4 o'clock walk in and say, "Hello, doctor, remove my pants." He'd do his thing, both of us would be happy, me happier, and I'd go home. But it didn't happen. Instead, there were 476 people, all in various states of pain, agony, dying in front of me, and I had to sit and take a number and wait. And if I waited, it would have taken about 35 people before I could actually go in, which simple maths told me was 3 hours and 54 minutes just to go and see the doctor, in which case I'd have many more problems than I had when I first came in. So, ladies and gentlemen, on Cyrus Says, let's fight the doctor subculture of making us wait. We are not waiters, they are doctors.
You're listening to Cyrus Says.
All right, here on Cyrus Says, we have our producer in-house, the one and only Amit Doshi, joined by Chavi, the exceptional radio person. And we talk about murder, rationalist persecution, phone talk, what's new in the digital world, Facebook, revelations about Facebook and disgruntled citizens, and of course, religion. Yes, on Cyrus Says, it gives me great joy. Well, maybe that's too much. Maybe joy is far too much a word. It gives me slight joy. I think that's too little also. Somewhere in the middle. It gives me like middle joy. If I was a Bengali father with 3 sons with the same name, middle joy. So middle joy to welcome Amit and Chavi onto our show. Amit, of course, is our producer. And we decided to have one show without any guests because it's good that we all are on the same plane. We have a podcast. We try to make it a little funny and have a little fun and all that. But I want to see that philosophically we're all on the same plane when we talk.
Boeing, Airbus?
There you go. Comedy, we're on the same plane and it's a very low plane, low-flying plane. Be careful when in your neighborhood.
It's a small aircraft.
Okay, listen, Chavi, before you start doing your jokes and killing me, I have to warn you that we've discussed doctors today. If you're a pro-doctor person, today is a good time for you to stand up and be counted by the doctor who's making you wait in the clinic.
No, it's not.
That's different from being pro-doctor.
Yeah, we're all pro-doctor, but I mean, like we were discussing before.
I'm more pro-nurse. Of course, the nurses I see on television aren't always the nurses that I'll end up meeting. But that's not the point. You can live in some sort of, hope. Hope is important in India. Without hope, there's no country. No, we should change our name. India should be called Hope.
We should be called Lost Hope.
Even if it's false hope, I don't mind. Yeah, lost hope is good, but lost hope in Hindi is difficult. Guma diya, asha.
Umid, asha.
In Gujarati, it'll be Ghumayu.
Ghumai
gayalu, asha. What will it be?
Khowai gayalu.
Ghumai
gayala umid.
Okay, now we've wasted enough time on our new country name. Let's move on to the main issue here. No jokes apart, Chavi, please tell me. My dad recently had to have an operation for his eye. I wasn't able to go with him. Some lovely lady was able to go with him. Luckily, she was very lovely and his eye...
This lovely lady?
He needed to look at her only after the eye was redone. So he wouldn't really know. Anyway, the point is that they called him at 11 for the operation. He's 77 years old and he waited for almost 2 hours before they took him in on the operating day. And I find that disgusting. Then I went to have my urine checked. Mind you, these are things that happen in the... Well, you have to do that in your 40s. It's not just pregnant women. It's also pregnant men. With all kinds of people who come under this...
I think we should stop for a pregnant pause.
Will you let me just explain my situation? I don't like to hold back. I want to be candid and open. So much so that you're saying stop. But let's be open and honest. So I had to go for this urine thing. And in the course of that, I had to wait 1.5 hours and I walked out. I didn't meet the doctor. I just couldn't do it. I had to pee. So I had to go anyway. And he didn't take me. My point is, why do they call everybody collectively at the same time?
Yeah.
Why can't they just say 410 Brocha, 420 Chavi, 430 Amit?
I know Amit is dying to say something too.
Everybody does.
So my doctor is lovely. She's just so nice. And I always ask for her first appointment because I don't want to wait 3 hours.
No, that's lies. Because the first appointment is the time the clinic opens in the afternoon, for example.
Yeah.
Alright, so if you get that 4 o'clock, there are 80 monkeys with you at 4 o'clock.
Correct. So I've got the first appointment. I rush to the thingy because I'm 20 minutes early. I just don't want to wait.
You've never been early in your life, Chavi. Lie number 1.
be quiet.
Musically.
So I get the 20 minutes early. You give you pay, you give your parchi to the sister, and then you wait. And then she finally breezes in late because
Who, the doctor or the sister?
The doctor, because
it'd be
she
tough
had to
to
go
give
on
the parchi if
rounds.
she's-
Okay, maybe
she's not
somebody
there.
had a baby or something, and she had to like be
So you
there.
went to your gynac?
Yeah.
You're not being open and candid like I was. I spoke about urine right at the top.
Yeah,
I said,
okay,
this is my
my-
problem.
my
What was your
feminine-
problem? Why were you at the gynac?
I get a health checkup every year in
Why the
November.
gynac? If your ears paining, don't go to the
I
gynac.
get a full health checkup. Like
For upper body,
everything.
lower body, everything from the
Everything.
gynac?
It's called a.
I thought they only look at one part of the body.
Exam?
What?
No.
Annual exam is in your boards, 10 standard. What are you talking? You're all over
No,
the place.
that's not
woman.
annual.
You need a medication right now. Give us
That's
something.
once in 10. Like, anyway, no, I go for every woman, if you're out there, please go for an
Be
annual
open
exam.
and
after
tell me.
you're
I told you about my
21.
urine problems. I told you. I
You
know
get
my dad's
everything
operation on the
checked,
eye.
Okay, I'll tell you what happens.
Yeah, go on.
Check everything. Pulse, blood pressure.
Why the gynac? Then you go to like
because
a GP.
she also looks in other places, and I get myself tested for
But she's
HPV.
only a specialist in that area.
No,
If she
is a
look at your
general
ear and
physician.
discuss it in the same way as
She
that
has
area.
a
Do you
doctorate
understand?
degree. Do you understand? She's
No,
a
it's not good
doctor.
enough for me. They're specialists. That's why they're called specialists. They're not all-rounders. There's no
But
such
she
thing.
can do the
There's no
special
couple
stuff
Dave in
as well as
doctors.
the
There's no
general
couple Dave in
stuff.
doctors.
Well, you think Kapil Dev can't field?
No, I'm saying Kapil
can
Dev
field,
is
he
an
can
exceptionally
bowl.
talented cricketer
Of
who can do
course.
everything.
So
But
she
your doctor can't
she
do everything.
Peer
Your
into
doctor
my
can only
nether
field.
regions, and she can also see if I've got an ear infection. You know, she's cool
Are
like
you
that.
kidding me? What if she got that mixed up? I mean, how bad is that? You know, I mean, come on.
She's a doctor.
Okay, whatever.
She's
Let's not
a
waste
good
time.
doctor.
So at 4 o'clock, you landed up there and she was late.
She was late, and then so I was like, okay, I saw her walk in. I'm obviously next, so I like stood up.
Do you know her?
Yeah.
Like, are you
I go
friends?
every year. No, we're not friends.
Once a year you meet. So you're
at
like
least once a
you're like the RSS. Where you all come together
Listen,
once a year and okay.
Listen, women get things like UTIs and stuff as well. So
What is
they
a UTI? Is it a share
urinary
transfer?
tract infection.
Oh, not Unit Trust of India. God, where is that?
God.
Oh, go on, go on.
I wouldn't go to a gynecologist for that, man.
I don't know. You said she's an all-rounder. She's Kapil Dev. You confused our two-man viewership.
I'm confused.
Listenership.
Okay, can we go back to the
Please
hospital?
tell us about the doctor
so
who came
I
breezing
stood
in
up,
late.
ready to do my lap sprint over to her office from the waiting area, and the sister, like, I'm just about to go in, I'm poised, my arms and legs are ready to like rush in, and she says, Savita, Narula, and I was like, excuse me, wrong person, what? So she called this other woman in, at which point I lost my temper,
But
barged
was the
in.
person in before you?
No, I was there first.
So when you entered the clinic, there was nobody else there?
No. And
Okay.
so I was immensely annoyed. Okay, by which, 40 minutes late, but now there are 40 people there.
Huh.
So I knocked and I said, I'm so sorry. I asked for the first appointment. My file was in here first, and I am just really upset. She had the good grace to apologize. She sent the woman out, and she asked me to take
The woman was already in a state of undress being examined, and you made her just walk out.
45 seconds of her going in. when I
Okay,
went.
no
So
pun
I went and
intended.
complained.
Fair enough. All right, so your story sucks because the doctor turned out to be a good person. I set up this whole plaque here only to tell you about the pain that we go through because
it's quite painful. I agree. I
and
have
it's not
to
just
do it
us.
every time.
All kinds of doctors all over have this. I have a lot of doctor friends, and they all say this is the way they do it.
This is the way they
because
do
we
it?
are not on time, so the
That's
blame is
their
ours.
excuse. That's their excuse all the
That's
time, right?
They try the
No,
410.
that's
You
the-
know what?
yeah, I know, but
That's
that's the excuse that they give.
They
Right?
have
say
tried
that
apparently back in 1853. India's first doctor, Dr. Gigi Boy, actually gave 410, 420, 430, 440, and the first Indian patient came at 6:15. Okay, and so after that they just gave it up.
No, but so I was telling you about my dentist, right? My dentist actually.
Is your dentist also an all-rounder? If you're pregnant, do you go to your
No,
dentist?
I go to my
All right.
dentist only for my
Because
teeth.
her doctor is very special, head to toe, and she's actually a gynae.
But not teeth.
Go ahead.
No, but so when I go to my dentist, he's actually one of the few I know that is very particular about his times. Right? If you're 5 minutes late, he'll cancel your
What's
appointment.
his name?
Wonderful.
And charge your cancellation fee.
What's his name?
Ashish Shah.
I like this
Dr. Shah.
guy.
Yeah, but so and if he's 10 minutes late, like if he's delayed with a patient, he'll come in from outside. He'll come outside from like his chair and say like, "Listen, I'm sorry, I'm a little delayed." But he's very particular about this. But he's also really expensive because he says I can't. The thing is that he sees less patients than a lot of other people do because he is so particular.
So he
about,
marks it up to make up for the lost
He marks
ground.
it up to make
After all,
it
he's
up.
Indian.
He is
Amit,
Indian,
we can't
of
take out
course.
everything from
He's
him.
not just
And
Indian.
he's
He's
sharp.
He's a
Gujarati.
good Desi boy.
He's an
You know,
Indian
that
Gujarati.
DNA is there.
He knows
Gujarati
where
boy, there you
he
go.
knows where his money's at.
He's got to get his money.
Well,
I don't have a problem with
salute
that as
Mr.
long as he
Shah.
doesn't waste my
Dr.
time.
Shah, you're
Yes,
the hero.
Dr. Shah, you're our hero. We all love you.
Yes.
Perhaps more than you think, and you should leave now. It's getting out of control.
Cyrus is coming.
Okay, but one final word on doctors. On the other hand, because we'll need them sooner or later,
Yeah.
they are lovely people.
They're the
We
best.
love doctors.
They are the
Doctors.
best.
Although I have to say,
Oh, God.
I had
After this, don't say anything.
a schoolmate who came to stay with me in Boston when I was there.
Was she a gynac?
No, he just finished med school at
He?
Maulana
A man was
Azad or
staying with
something.
you?
Okay.
Mamsi. It's a big school in Delhi. It's called
Mamsi?
Yeah, Maulana Azad Medical College.
All right, let's not even stop.
All right,
Huh.
so he done his B. What is it? bachelor's in medicine.
Philosophy, perhaps? I don't know.
MBBS.
MBBS, not an MD. So he'd come to the States to do his MD. And he told me, and this like totally shattered my faith in all doctors. He was like, they just graduate you and then you're supposed to like look at patients and treat them. And I don't know what the shit I'm doing. And I was like, what? Do you really want to confess to things like this?
Yeah, but I mean, that's...
So what, he didn't have a degree actually?
He did.
No, they do.
He wasn't paying attention in the course.
5 years of medicine.
They don't learn anything in college. They learn stuff when they basically do
So
their
you're saying that we have
internships,
doctors who aren't really doctors but
Yeah,
have
man.
degrees?
So basically, don't go to a young doctor. Because
Oh
he's
my
learning
God,
on the job. Or she's learning on the
Yeah,
job.
no, that's true too, right? I mean, like these guys, they learn when they're doing their
And they don't have
internships.
residencies
And I have
like
a friend.
they do in the States.
I have a friend
right?
whose name is Adi Doctor, and he's not a doctor.
Which is
So that's another confusing thing. Because you go up to me, doctor, and he's not. Then there are those guys with the honorary
What's up,
doctorates,
doc? Do
like
people do
Dr.
that too?
Malia or Dr. Mangeshkar. You can't go to them. They're not really doctors. You can't ring the bell and say, Dr.
Cyrus,
Mangeshkar, please treat me.
we did know that.
No, I just want to make this
Yeah.
clear because you brought up this topic about who are not really doctors. Very good and very glad
So if
you
they've
did.
got an MBBS behind their name, I don't know.
Or are we going to go on about this topic? Because now we've lost all the doctors in India. And we're going abroad and you're killing
We
them
like
there.
old doctors.
Your anti-doctor viral hate has to end now.
We like doctors with experience.
I like nurses. I'm going back. Because at the end, it's a nurse who pulls you out and a nurse who takes you out as well.
That is true.
Nurses are more important. And
No,
before
you
we-
got to keep the nurses happy too, right? I
You have to.
Excuse
to be,
me?
No, you have to be.
Like, what are we talking about?
No,
Well,
you
there are
have
many
to be-
different
you
ways,
have to-
Chavi. I will elucidate in about a few seconds. One thing to do is keep your apron on or whatever. The
Your
strange thing they make you
what?
wear when they operate on you in India, it really emasculates you completely. I don't know if you ever worn one of
Yes.
those, but I had my private
Actually,
areas played with.
No, I was in what is
But
what are
why,
they called?
when you
Scrubs.
go,
I was
why
in
do you,
scrubs.
but why do you wear that when you're just going for a general health checkup?
I had surgery. I didn't
You
go for
had surgery. Where? What happened exactly?
That's private information.
Come on.
No.
Upper, lower,
I'll tell you. In
left
the
or
break.
right?
I'll tell
Give
you
us
in the break.
something.
No.
Damn it. Chavi, we're here to be candid. Candid is very important on our show. Candor is all we got.
And saying no is something Indian women should practice more. So I'm sticking up for that, right?
Indian women should practice more. Conditioner!
No.
Women don't use conditioner. I see that. The hair starts wrinkling very fast. Good. We cracked that one. Time to move away from doctors. They're lovely people. That's the
what?
last
I
word
don't
on
know
the
what
subject.
just happened. I don't know.
I just wanted to go away from the perverse
Okay, all right,
and the
that's
private. I just felt we've done enough. We've destroyed doctors. Now young children are listening and I don't know what other lobby will come after us. So I went after the shampoo people. Amit, you have no hair.
Very easy.
Support me. Support me, Amit.
Absolutely. Down
All
with
right.
shampoo.
And just for the record, Amit's a physiotherapist. Amit, our producer, has a bad shoulder problem. For many years, they've been operating on the wrong shoulder. Turned out to be the left one and wasted time on the right. But his physiotherapist is a lovely lady and she listens to our podcast and she
Really?
doesn't make
She
him
does.
wait. And yes, and she's...
Yeah, she doesn't make me wait too. That's true, actually. So I go to a clinic which has got a lot of people, and
Right.
and it's like a general clinic, right? So she works out at that place. She's the only person at that clinic that never makes you wait.
Right. And what they do is if they're very crowded, they ask Amit to put his shoulder in through the window and they work on that for a few seconds, like baked bread. It's lovely. And I appreciate that, Amit, in our populated South Mumbai world, that they think out of the box. Can we move on to topic number 2 because this is completely done to death? Rationalist murders and persecution across India. But I'm told we have to take a break.
So we'll
when
come
we
back
come
to
back,
that.
serious topic. Now, no more jokes because there's murder happening and it doesn't seem to stop. And there's finger pointing, but no one is being taken in. We'll come back in a second. In the meantime, Nurse Braganza, yes, right there. Right there. Thank you. Little bit lower. That's right. Now the other hand. Yes, welcome back to Cyrus Says. We have our producer, the man behind our podcast. Let's give him the bow he needs. The man who thought of podcasting in India. And in his own way, he's an entrepreneur. He's the Richard Branson, with no hair whatsoever, of our little tribe, as far as I'm concerned. And let's hope one day when he becomes a multi-millionaire, he remembers the people who attacked the doctors and the subculture in India. Chavi, be very careful. I told you we need them. They sort of remember. They're like elephants, our doctors. They have long memories. Let's move on to this. This is slightly more... Well, we can't hide from this issue. I tried to actually, because I don't like to take very heavy things on this podcast. But the Rationalists, firstly, that name is odd. But they're people who are sort of not very religious and don't believe in superstition. Let's just call them that.
Well, so it's a kind of umbrella term, right? When you talk about rationalists, you're not talking about atheists generally, just atheists. You're talking about people who look at rationalism as a way of life, right? So these aren't. This isn't like
It's very
atheism
simple.
versus religion.
If they want you to explain why, if a black cat crosses your path, why they should feel that something bad is going to happen to you. What's the logic, the correlation, the relation? Yeah, go ahead, Chavi.
These are the people who are the opposite of those people who set up a panel to revive Sanskrit and do experiments to see if Rig
Okay, I can see you're the
science
anti-right wing.
actually works out. They want to recreate all those.
We don't need
beautiful
guests. We have
things.
all views here. Extreme left, extreme right, both. Okay, no, but Chavi, jokes apart, what are you? Who do you empathize with?
I'm extremely rationalistic. I'm a science journalist.
So you're not religious in any way? Because it sort of is a paradox to be religious and scientific. Because at some point you start saying, what the hell does this mean?
Yeah, I would agree with you.
So I'm atheist too. But I mean, like at the same time...
Are you really atheist? Nothing? No Ganpati at home? Nothing like that?
No. See, you can be culturally religious without being spiritual.
So you're traditionalist religious?
Not really. See, my family didn't do anything.
Let me just bury you with words.
Go for
because
it.
I have nothing else
Traditionalist, realist, pragmatist,
so, at
humanist.
your home, are people religious? Were they religious growing up?
We have one Chandi ki murti of Lakshmi who sits in a drawer somewhere locked. And at Diwali time, somebody's like, oh, we have to get her out. Yes.
I dated a Chandi. I couldn't get her out myself. I have to tell you.
I know, we're terrible. Or not. I don't know. We're rationalists.
So I'm atheist. My
do you laugh at religion? Like what we can't do, not even on the podcast. We would love to make religious jokes which we can't do.
No, we
could do when you and I are alone in a room.
But
when I say you and I, Amit, you and I.
Right.
Because Charlie, I know you've just gone to your doctor, so hey, let's not go back there. Yeah.
No, but I mean, like the problem is that there is way too...
Why can't we make religious jokes and yet be religious?
Because I mean, people just have no sense of humor about this.
Because we live
and I mean, the
state.
overreactions are ridiculous. I mean, I don't...
They'll ban us.
All right, you heard about what happened in Delhi, right? I mean, like where this guy who... essentially, a guy got killed for having what was thought to be beef in his fridge.
Yeah, well, it was announced in the temple, apparently.
Yes,
exactly. Which is kind of crazy, right? I mean, like, that's insane, right? Who does that? I mean, that's... who?
So we have the rationalists versus the nationalists. Let's call them that.
I don't even think that's nationalism, right? I mean, like, I don't believe in nationalism either. I think that's kind of flawed philosophy. But at the same time, that's not nationalism. That's just straight up bigotry.
So they killed the guy without actually checking if the beef was beef.
It doesn't matter.
Who cares?
It's the same as killing a guy without checking if he's the murderer.
Why should that matter? How is a cow's life more valuable than a human life?
It's his private life. It's his fridge.
Okay, guys, I'm getting a little worried because as someone in the middle path, and I've always had the middle path, I always like the middle path, so much so that when it comes to toilets, I always bang into the wall. I make up my mind which one is left or right, which one is for me. Let me just tell you, don't get so heavy on me on this show.
No, I'm not getting heavy. I just feel like, it's kind of nuts how deeply entrenched religion is in terms of...
If you look at our great minds, even our IITians and our IMians and our literature students and everything else, many of them still have this paradox or this
they're all,
diverse mutual incompatibility of religion and I'm a liberal and I'm thinking ahead in rationalism.
Or if science kids and MBA kids. Yeah, I think it's got to do a lot with just cultural exposure.
So what are we going to do about this country?
There's not much
we can't kill people for having different thoughts from ours all the time. This is ridiculous.
No, it's not.
Will the people who killed Mr. Dabholkar and gang, will you please stand up?
Well, that's a whole different thing, right? I mean, like, that's actually people killing for money, right? That's straight up like money kind of this. The reason why these guys got killed was, from what I understand, they're all big proponents of the anti-superstition bills and stuff like that, which basically puts all these babas and those kinds of people
out of business.
Right.
So it all boils under economics, and you're okay with that as long as you've got a proper reason to kill someone.
Well, I mean, like, okay, in the sense that at least it's
some lobby will struggle if they lived.
There's some rationality to why they're doing what they're doing.
There's a rationality.
So you empathize completely with the murderers here, Amit. Thank you for starting this podcast.
No,
I know now I'm in safe hands.
For example, the secular bloggers in Bangladesh. I mean, IS took.
There are two left. The rest have been killed. There are two left. They're on the Burma border, hanging onto some trees.
They're all hiding at this point, right? I mean, like, who would be?
But I can understand how there aren't enough people out there like us. I'm not saying we're right all the time. We probably aren't many times. But I can understand why, when three of us are sitting here and talking about this, how the absurdity of people killing other people because they practice a different philosophy, if there's nothing more to it than that. I mean, it's just absurd. How people don't think it's absurd.
I don't get it either. It's just something that doesn't...
We're still scared to say that in public. Of course, we're saying that now here, but then our views
are our
views.
The power of the mob is what everybody's scared of. These people individually, if you ask them, probably, it's like, what is it?
No, Chavi, you're wrong.
Milgram's 37.
You're wrong. Individually also, they've gone completely berserk. They have to believe in what they do. They take human life.
No, hang on.
They can't be half believing, because I have 3 hours to kill.
Correct. So rationalistically, do you remember Milgram's 37?
Of course.
Right.
I have no idea, Amit. Quick.
Okay. I have no clue what that is.
This is a science experiment.
But you like the way she built it up and made us two men look like fools? Did you know? Did you not know? Pregnant pause. You didn't know. Dumbo. Go on. Have fun.
So
Chavi,
I'll
get a point
explain this.
here.
Thank you. So essentially, Milgram had these 37 people do this scientific experiment. They said, like, we give you a lever and through a glass, like this studio example, so it could be Kiran, we could be torturing.
Are these the founding fathers of America,
no,
those
listen.
pilgrims?
No, those are pilgrims.
Pilgrims! There you go. I knew I had
Pilgrim
it.
said
Go
you
on.
push the lever, and believe me, that person on the other side is feeling no pain. So you just go as far as you can.
I know what you're talking about.
And the person behind the glass would then make these noises of pain. It was fake. It was set up. There was actually nothing being administered, shocks. And people would just go ahead and go all the way to number 10 and inflict huge amounts of what they perceived was pain to these people. They could see the reaction.
I used to feel this when watching India's Got Talent.
There you
because
go.
I felt the pain and
You
I
were
couldn't
the
tell them the
judge,
pain.
yes?
No, just watching
you were
as a
just
viewer.
watching.
Go on.
Right. So essentially, when he talked to them individually, they all said, no, we are against violence. But when there's a superior saying, do it. Like
So what you're saying is you follow the orders,
follow
herd
the-
mentality, Germanic
Yes,
thought process.
Exactly.
If you had to be
authority
slightly off
and
racist.
the mob take precedence over individualism and thought.
Yeah,
at
but
that
yeah,
So
time.
if Amit tells us what to do, we do it. If Amit says you have to talk about this sponsor, we do it. Do we? Oh, yes, we
if
do.
we had-
Amit,
I don't know,
you're a
Amit.
controlling figure.
Amit, are
You're
you that
Milgram.
person?
But I don't know if I agree with that so much because I meet individuals like people who I hang out with and stuff like that, and I'm often
And they're mostly
surprised.
No, I'm sorry. I sometimes lose train of thought.
I'm really surprised at how parochial their thinking is sometimes.
Yeah.
And these are people
narrow-minded
again
they are.
upper middle class,
Exactly,
people
yeah.
from the same. Let's call us a cultural milieu, which is similar.
Yeah,
all of us.
I mean, I had this conversation with this guy who lives in Dubai. He was down for a little bit, and
Right
we're out- I was shocked, right? I mean, like at just how he was pro beef man. And I mean, like, I'm sitting there with three giant people, okay? I mean, like, I'm born
Who are
giant.
trying to be balanced about
and
it.
they're all saying that the beef ban is stupid, the meat ban is stupid. And this guy is like, no, the beef ban makes sense. It's a Hindu country. We need to be...
my
I'm just
God.
like,
So what you're doing
It's
is when
not
you
a
scratch
Hindu
the
country, it's a
surface,
secular
when you scratch the
country.
surface, we're seeing in India here, which we didn't see before.
Yeah, exactly.
So-called secularism gone out of the window, and we're getting more and more people
Yeah.
who are saying, wait a minute, I'm okay with this.
Yeah.
And these are people who are in a class with us,
Right.
whose thighs we stroked.
What?
Not together, separately. But we did. Our girls were really small.
We-
I remember
we stroked
Natasha, this girl
anybody's
I
thighs
grew
in
up with. I put my hand on my thigh, missed it and touched her thigh, and I was sent out of
You
class.
were that horrible man on the
It
tee.
was a
I used to
mistake.
avoid.
It was a mistake. Some of the girls look like some of the boys when you're 12. You can't tell. Have you been to India? See our country. Look around. Look at the kids. Kids are terrible. That is why I say kids should wear caps, forward and backward. Forward for male, backward for female. Okay, that doesn't work for you. We'll switch.
Backward for
Backward for
female. Yes, backward for
forward
male.
You know you, Chavi, so predictable. Always taking the side of the better sex.
Obviously.
Give us also a chance. We who can't grow hair.
I'll root for the underdogs.
Yeah, I root for the under female dog, which is also known as a bitch. Walk into that one. All right, we have to take a quick break. When we come back, we were laughing. We won't be laughing now because people are dying because other people don't like the way they think, which is fine with me. I'm okay. All right, we talked about the rationalists. Last word on the subject, Amit, Doshi, jokes apart. We are living in a country where every day we're getting a little bit more cynical that there are lots of people who want blood. Why?
people are violent. I mean, like, it just people are... There's so much...
Angst?
Not angst. It's just like, do what I do. Do as I do. I mean, like this majoritarianism, the idea
It's a
that...
wonder we survived so far. Non-homogeneous country, so many differences. I was just trying to think. We have differences in color, caste, community, look, region, this, that. It never ends. Economic thing, which flat do you live in, what car do you drive, it doesn't end.
Right.
And yet we've survived. And now I'm thinking, why and how? It was a miracle.
Exactly.
The miracle is over. We will
It
now
feels
secede
like
into 32 Bangladeshs. That means our cricket team will suck and we'll find no tigers because they'll all be in the real Bangladesh.
That's right.
Things are looking
They'll
bad.
migrate, I think.
All right, let's quickly move to topics that are close to Amit's heart and make him happy, which is the electronic world. So when you don't date real women,
electronic
you need
world.
electronics. Now come on, Amit
that
Doshi,
right?
set us up with
Do you
digital.
have a-
No, with phone talk first. I want to talk new phones.
Yes,
What's
I
up?
mean,
What's
there's
on?
the new iPhone, there's the new Nexus. I mean, like,
The two new Nexi.
Two new Nexuses.
Is it Nexi? Is it Nexi? Or is she showing us up to be dumb fools again?
well,
I don't think it's Nexi. I think it's Nexuses.
Nexuses.
How dare you decide it's Nexi, you
Yeah, I
Greek
think
woman, you.
I think
Your
Nexuses
people have
sounds
no
better.
money and no banks. You don't tell us how to
Listen,
pronounce.
if anybody wants to buy me a Nexi, Nexus,
Yeah.
Nexuses, I'm...
Why did you call someone like Sharad Pawar? He can buy Greece and the Nexi.
Dude,
Be
listen,
done.
I went to a wedding in Italy, but I was working the wedding.
Okay, this is an aside for the listener.
And
Because
one
we
of
were talking-
our
yeah.
ministers...
Names?
I can't.
Please.
Okay, I'll tell you
Initials?
this much. Initials.
Father's name?
His initials, his first name and his last name start with the same letter. Anyway, this dude went to
Same letter.
Ferragamo.
Now, everybody, whoever's listening, everybody's Googling left and center. Same letter. Give me a high profile
Ferragamo.
politician.
Salvatore
Oh, I don't know. Is he
Ferragamo.
Gujarati?
And he bought 42 pairs of shoes in one day.
But thank God.
Why? He's running Italy's economy, that's why.
Well, fair enough, man. I mean, come on.
42 pairs of shoes!
But that's not the worst thing in the world. It's not like buying like anti-aircraft missile for your home.
Yeah, so anyway, yes, they can buy me iPhones and Nexuses. I don't want them.
I don't have a problem with corrupt politicians. I've decided corruption is the least of our problems. I've now realized after we scratched the surface to find all kinds of hatred and anger and, I mean, death and what the hell is all this? A little bit of corruption wasn't so bad. Amit Doshi, bring you back into the subject that you love,
electronic
phones.
World.
The electronic world.
That's I think both of these things are really cool, right?
So let's take it one at a time. Who are we talking about?
What?
I like the iPhone and I like the Nexus. I think both of them look really
Don't
good.
lie, Amit. What do you have in your pocket right now?
I have a Moto X, which is...
You have a pen. You don't even have a phone.
No, I do have a
You sold
phone.
your phone to get us this show.
That is...
Somewhat correct.
fairly close.
So what do you have now?
Right now I have a Moto phone, but I mean, like, I'm getting the Nexus as soon as it's out.
So what's the difference and why one over the other?
I like Android more than iPhone. I mean, but...
But everybody's saying if you don't have iPhone, you can't talk to the rest of the world.
What?
Well, you can't talk to other people with iPhones. Or you can talk to them, but you can't... There's a lot of stuff that is iPhone to iPhone only, right?
Mm-hmm.
But who cares? If you're not an iPhone, you can't do it.
I don't know. I thought you guys are the phone people. You like to connect with people. I don't.
I'm
I shut the
Android.
phone. From the moment I wake up, the first thing I do is I shut the phone.
I'm a Droid fangirl.
Yeah. You go to a doctor who touches everything just to treat you where she should be only touching the one area. So let me just warn you, I'm not happy with the way you're thinking. Go to a doctor who's a specialist. Remember that.
Well,
Always.
I go to a dentist for my teeth. I go to a urologist for urinary stuff. I go to a gynecologist for female stuff. But an annual exam for women is a little more complicated.
Let me tell you, having gone to a proctologist, I made a mistake and went to a dentist and showed him the wrong part. And these things don't work because a cavity here and a cavity there, two different things. So can we get back to telephones?
Sure.
It's been a very dirty show because we have nothing to talk about. All right, so you got
You
Nexus.
keep doing this.
No, it's him. It's Amit. It's always Amit.
It's always me.
It's always Amit. Why is he wearing his spandex outfit and doing aerobics in the background?
Because
while
he
we're doing
wanted
our
to show you his pen, obviously.
Stop it! Stop the pelvic thrust. Once again, sir, I implore you.
Okay.
So you're a big fan of?
Well, so I like the Android phones too. I mean, like, I feel like iPhones are kind of really expensive, so I prefer Android in that sense. And I really like the Nexuses. I mean, like, I'm not so happy with this Motorola phone that I have, so I'm kind of...
But are we now complete slaves to technology and there's no hope for us?
Absolutely.
Because every 3 months they give us something new and people like you go berserk?
Well, no, I don't buy phones that often, but I mean, like, if you
But
think
let's say if money wasn't a problem, if you were one of the richest men in India, you'd be buying the bloody company.
Well, I would then I would probably buy a phone every year. I don't know if I do more than that, but having said that, I mean, like, the phone is the computer you use more than anything else, right?
That's true.
I mean, you don't use. I don't use my PC anywhere. My PCs cost like $15,000. My phone costs like a shit.
Now, on a slightly more mature topic, which one is better to surf porn without getting caught?
Without getting caught, Android.
Android. Okay,
How
write
is
that
that
down.
possible?
Now,
Because
for
you
the
can
first
get- you
time,
can get- you
we have
can
given
get a lot of
valuable
different,
information on our podcast to people listening for the first
You
time, I
can
must
get
say.
a lot of different proxies and stuff like that
Okay.
for
I
Android.
see
You
she's
can
taking
get-
insider trading here. When it
No,
comes to
because
porn
doesn't it
market.
depend on your ISP, or you have to do the...
Well, no, you can get a proxy on.
Chavi,
your
my
Android,
friend,
right?
simply go to your doctor who handles everything. Tell her your problem about this
None of
entire
my
thing.
doctor is so, like,
I'm
tech
sure
savvy.
she'll sort it out. All right, that was the phone talk for the week,
Are
which
they?
is- or the month.
I
or
haven't
the-
said
Oh,
anything.
You would like to add to
Yes,
that? Go
I
ahead,
would.
please.
I'm not going to say it now.
No, go on. Send me a message on your Android. Go on, hurry up.
No, it's fine. Actually, what
What phone do you have, Chavi?
I have a Chinese phone.
Yeah, but ever since you did that survey with me, Amit, this is true. Listener, this is true. Which is, you have that app which allows us to see the real age of the person vis-a-vis
Yeah.
the face.
Right.
And I was 6 years younger and
the
you
Google
weren't.
camera.
And you threw away that phone in 4 seconds. So I
Same
implore you
phone.
app organizers around the world, when it comes to women, if it's a critique of any kind, they will destroy your phone, your app, and your life. So
The
be very
last
careful.
time I took a selfie, told me I was a 27-year-old male. I was just like,
Yes, it
what
did.
the hell
And
is
that wasn't
going
funny.
on?
And the best part is they made me 4 years younger and I look like a grandfather. And she's being nice when she says that. God.
It's the same phone. I'm on
how
the
do
Xiaomi.
These apps sometimes are big jokes as far as I'm concerned.
A lot of them are.
They're just luring us like bad
It's
whiskey.
it's the camera. It's the Google camera. Anyway.
It's not that. It's just the idea that you have this
Yeah.
power. This app gives you this power. I can now see how young I am.
This is
And
true.
everybody around the world is curious to know if they look younger. It's a winner question. Who will not want to know whether they look younger
This is true.
visually?
It's never made me older than I am. That's for sure.
Chavi, it's done. We can replay the whole link for you.
No, I'm thinking now.
No, don't
about
think.
that, yeah.
It's done. Go back to your doctor, tell her your
But
problem.
I don't know if I would get...
Call your doctor, check in now, be first. And make sure that
Fine, I
Nerula
won't
chick
talk
is
about
not there.
16 GB memory.
Thank God your
versus
doctor's not in
32.
Delhi. Because in Delhi there are 43 Nerulas. I mean, ice cream places. But let's move on. Facebook. Another subject close to the owner of Facebook is sitting here, Amit Doshi. Amit, Facebook declaration to protect your own content on social media. What is this Big Brother business
this is
happening?
Just
is it true?
Well, this is just like the stupid thing that comes up every couple of years, right? People start putting messages in their status saying
they are revolting against the one engine that looks after them.
Well, that's
what is they're rebelling against the one engine that was fun for them.
Well, they try to rebel, right? I mean, like, it's like it has no. It's just the dumbest thing. I don't understand people who do this. They put this message up saying
Amit,
that
you did it.
No, I didn't do it.
Oh, sorry. Okay, go on.
So for a while I actually responded to everybody who would do it, saying like, "Dude, please stop doing this."
As MD of Facebook. Go ahead.
As a rationalist.
As a rationalist.
Very well done, Chavi.
Yeah, so what people do is they put this message up saying that Facebook doesn't have right to my content. Everything I put up is owned by me.
As if
it has any kind of.
First, let's understand what the genius is thinking. The genius, whose last post is, "I was on the pot for 20 minutes and I had a successful dump." And now he has now decided that great piece of information should stay with him and never be the one on Facebook.
On Facebook, which he has no control over.
Absolutely.
Oh, signed off on all the
internet is screwing us completely left, right and center. No one is stopping them. They're more dangerous than the anti-rationalists.
It's so stupid. It mentions things like the Bern Convention, which is like a 130-year-old Swiss convention.
Right.
Which has to do with
nothing to do with the Bern conspiracy.
No,
let me just add here.
Okay, no, but this has to do with prisoners of war and treatment of them in that way.
Right.
And they're talking about that in context of their Facebook thing. It's just like
so this rich kid, let's say somewhere in London, is this rich Indian NRI kid sitting there fighting with Facebook about all rights and conditions of slaves and of war prisoners and of emancipated and dying young people all over the world.
Computers and internet.
It's amazing.
It's just as if people just don't think when they do this kind of stuff. It's like,
or is it that they don't have any regular pain in their life, so you rebel without a cause thing?
No, I think that might be the case.
I'm joining it. I've had enough. Facebook is monopolizing.
You're not on Facebook, Cyrus.
I can't afford it. It's just too much. Costs too much. The
moment
you get onto Facebook, you're going to start having affairs. That's the first problem.
Let
me tell you.
And he doesn't even
you're
know
going to have affairs if you're married. Don't do that. Because all you're doing ultimately is trying to find the other sex.
Thought you were going philosophical. Listen,
just asking for trouble.
There's other stuff out there besides Facebook for that.
But then you may have to pay for that, and then you don't get receipts and all the huge
What are those other things? Mary Allen or whatever.
Stop showing us your knowledge and prowess on the subject,
Ashley Madison.
Ashley Madison got closed down.
They got hacked.
Amit and I were the ones who. Well, let's not. We have so much spare time, it's embarrassing. All right. Okay. So that's Facebook. If you are on Facebook and you're one of the rebellers or ones in part of the social revolution to control Facebook, please stop it. Behave your age, which is at least 13.
Yeah, and think a little bit, right? Before you do this kind of stuff, before you post these kind of dumbass messages that people...
Do what everybody else does.
But that's no
rise against your own country. That's the way rational people live.
Same people who WhatsApp you things and say, WhatsApp is tracking this. If you forward this to 20 people, Honda will give you a car and you will get a free computer. Forward this to like 37,000 people in my address book right now.
Why can't we get these guys on our show? They're creative geniuses.
If you're out there and you forward this, contact us.
No, not the guys who forwarded. The guys who came up with it.
I've got a fantastic idea to lure them in. Honda will give you a car if you come onto our show.
Email us whatcyrussays@gmail.com. Yeah.
All right, we've got to take a quick break because the phones are ringing off the hook. But it's hello. It's not. It's the anti-rationalists.
Oh, we better run.
S.
We're leaving now.
Singh.
Yeah.
R.S. Singh. What do you think? Scary cat, Amit Doshi. Dar gaya.
Meow.
Ghar pe aayega.
That would be a problem.
Since our houses are nearby. Oopsie. And having a laugh with my good friend Chavi and Amit, our producer, and may I say they are such comedians. God, I can't bear them. All right, but we've got something to discuss, which is now I feel a little serious in the sense that England, or rather Britain's Prime Minister David Cameron, in the past has been accused of some strange sort of rituals. Is it in school and college?
Well, I mean, like it was...
Please set it up for us, Amit, because I can't do it without laughing.
I can't.
When I say do it without laughing, I mean set this up.
I'm trying to think, how do we do this without like falling afoul of iTunes? Let's see. So essentially...
Why, does David Cameron own it, or does the pig own it?
No, we're talking about him putting his private parts in a pig's private parts.
Right. So iTunes is not happy with that.
Just, like,
but if a Prime Minister of a leading country can do that...
He didn't do it as Prime prime minister. What was
No,
he?
But he was going to be prime
he
minister. It was
still-
already decided.
He was a kid in college, right?
His
And I mean,
parents
like,
had spoken to the guidance council. Prime minister, it was done.
it was part of some secret society thing, wasn't
Absolutely.
it? I think-
I love the word
Amazing,
secret
right?
society. It makes it sound like it's a club of great people. What the hell does it mean? Secret
It's,
society.
you know.
To become a member of my society, take off your private pants, take off your pants, take off your
You know, they
privates
do
and put
much
it in the pig's
worse.
mouth.
Like,
Sorry?
for example, not to make it even more serious, there are allegations of colleges in the US where the hazing happens, and it's
Hello,
totally...
baby girl. It happens in Mumbai
Yeah,
and Delhi
and it's sexual,
and every
and
part
it's
of this country. Don't go to
really
America and point
offensive.
fingers.
Okay, here
it
too,
is. I mean, I
right?
there was some stuff that
It's
happened when I
assault.
was in college, not with me, but my roommates who were.
How
they
come it's
were-
always not with me but my roommate?
Well, my roommate
It's like
was
the
rushing
sex
a frat.
columns. You know, my
Oh, he
friend
was
has
in
an
a frat.
erection problem.
He was
It's
rushing
always
a
the
frat.
friend.
He decided not to because
Okay, explain to our listeners what rushing a frat is.
So,
Cyrus, do you know what
fratern-
rushing a frat is?
I was talking about erection problems, and my listeners are my listeners now. You see, take the right topic and see people listen. You can do your hazing all night, but once I mention ED, boom, boom, I got them all. Go on, Amit.
So,
All yours.
so fraternities are basically these organizations at colleges which people join. To join them, they have to they have to rush
Pass a
them.
test.
Right. So yeah, they have to rush the frats, right? So it's a week. There's a hell week and there's a month of.
Give us a
rushing.
vague, if there's
like
an
writing.
average
So I'll tell
task.
you. I'll tell you one of the things that was kind of this is what drove my roommate away from it, right? I mean, like
Was he an Indian?
Yeah, no, he was a Jewish dude from New Jersey.
Okay.
The-
So you can't be more American than that. Go ahead.
So the reason why he walked away was they had something called an elephant chain that they wanted everyone to be a part of, which was essentially
Oh boy.
people taking their thumbs and sticking them in a particular place in front of them, and then somebody behind them sticking a thumb
Wow.
up, and like it was like a circle of
So
people.
if you're heterosexual, do you get a girl in front of you?
No,
and
it's
behind
all
you?
guys doing this. All guys who want to rush the frat.
And we come from a third world country, and they're the first world country.
That's
And
what I'm
what's
saying. So I
happening?
mean, this is why that guy's. He's like, dude, I'm not doing this shit. I'm out.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. So, but
I'd
I
rather
mean,
do it with the elephant.
So I mean, like this kind of stuff at college frats. I mean, like they do these kinds of stupid,
But even
things.
this-
That's stupid. Some of it here is just repressed. It's just awful.
All right, but should we just look at it as you're young and reckless and silly
Well,
and
that's why
culturally
people
it's
do
okay,
it,
let
right?
go?
It's not culturally okay. I mean, like it is. But
What is
I mean,
the worst
like,
thing you've done, Amit? Have you ever bullied anyone? Have you hazed someone? Have you ever
I
ragged
don't
someone?
think so. I don't think I've ever.
When Chavi applied for the job, is it true you made her swim on land for 15 months? Is it true she failed?
No, not at all. Chavi was actually the first person I spoke to about doing this kind of thing. I wanted to get her
Why are
on
you giving
board.
me a serious answer? I'll never have you on my show again.
Okay,
Just because
all
it's your
right,
show.
sorry. Yeah,
Actually,
okay.
transitive property. It's your show, not my
I'm
show.
a
It's your
good
show.
swimmer, by the way.
So you're what?
I'm a good swimmer.
Are you?
On land?
Which is your favorite stroke?
Breast.
I won breaststroke by a nipple. I actually was very close, 50 meters.
What the hell was your nipple doing out
No,
there?
it's
Your
like
head
very close.
precedes your nipple.
Hey, come on. These things are these things,
Right. You can
anatomically
keep that
speaking.
title. I'm not
Back to David Cameron. Now, no one knew, as you said in the beginning, was going to become Prime Minister. And we're looking at it from the context. It's always contextual of being a leading figure, one of the most powerful figures, blah, 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 leading country in the world. But millions of people in Europe, or thousands of people in Europe and America and the Western world, and to some extent in the Eastern world, have done things like that.
Yeah, but it doesn't make it okay, though.
Yeah,
It's still
I'm not saying it's okay.
disgusting.
I'm just saying they've done things like that. But
Yeah, no,
if you get caught, you're in a bit of trouble.
So
if
I
you
mean,
don't,
like
whatever.
there are these legends of people having these kinds of.
Has an Indian Prime Minister
initiations.
misbehaved like this ever? Would you have the guts to tell me about it?
I don't think that anybody would ever know, right? I mean, like India, we're kind of.
We'll never tell our secrets.
Yeah.
Yeah, also, it was
We take it to
before
the grave.
mobile phones and stuff. Nobody was
And
documenting
anything
anything.
remotely sexual is like a sacred cow. You cannot
Exactly. You
speak
don't
about it
talk
if it's a
about that
famous
stuff.
person.
Right.
Like I know so many famous people in India who have wild sexual lives since I'm part of theirs, but and we can't talk about it ever. Yeah. Chavi, on the other hand, you and Amit go to the doctor, kill time. Oh God, 3 hours to kill. I'll go to the doctor for a checkup. Anything, doc. Just start from the toes and work your way up. Okay. No, but I feel a little bad. I'm on David Cameron's side because I just think that at the end of the day, Britain, especially with that old public school situation, I mean, they've got this going on for years, and we've had horrific stories of people committing suicide and
here
things
too.
like the thumb inside the you-know-what and the you-know-what inside the pigs you-know-what. I
Many
mean,
things.
that's part
My
of the
mom had a
course.
cousin who committed suicide from one of the IITs because of the ragging.
I was about to come to our IITs and our management colleges and schools are pretty known for this as well.
They're pretty hardcore.
You want to
about
be in the
this kind of
hostel,
stuff,
you got to
right?
pass the test.
But even I mean, I remember HR was kind of bad for this when I was there, right? I mean, like the first,
HR, the big, for me, the
Bombay?
torture.
Bombay.
HR, the torture was the worst in Bombay. You have to find parking. Impossible.
So I used to.
Impossible.
Children driving to
I
college.
used to park on the sidewalk next to the Panwala.
I used to call the professors and ask them to park my car like valet. That was really influential. But those were the days. Why get into that?
No, but even HR, I remember, I mean, like when I first started, after the 10th, I did the 2 years at HR over here, and there was a lot of crap going on over there. I mean, I know that they basically stripped one guy and made him walk out and buy cigarettes and come
that's
back.
horrible.
Yeah, I mean, I know that kind of stuff happens here too.
Probably scarred for life.
No. He just stopped smoking. I think he cured it. It was a great idea. You should do that to me.
Please, go right ahead.
I have no problem, but the BD one I will die. Sir, मेरे पास बीड़ी है, आपके पास भी है. Sorry, that's disgusting. Behave yourself.
Me? What did I do?
Okay, now let's give the listeners something that they can reflect upon. All right, something
besides
nice.
Horrible mental images.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's move away from bullying. Let's move away from all these things. Let's talk about the one thing that brings us together in India: religious festivals and traffic pollution, chaos, cacophony, and how the mind gets destroyed completely by the sound and the large sea of people going nowhere with very blank looks on their faces.
This time of year is fabulous. No, we start with Ganesh Chaturthi, then we've got Durga Puja, Diwali, Dasara. It's fantastic.
Have you heard of Basi Eid? Where basically post-Eid the people come out.
Yeah, that's
okay. So I thought Eid is done, so I avoid certain areas which is my normal route, and now we get Basi Eid, and suddenly I'm caught in the middle of the jam.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who come to
this. Is the most beautiful country when it comes to I can screw up your street today. Yes. It's a game that we play, and we have won the Wimbledon of that every single time. There's no one who can beat us. I promise you.
Actually, I forgot to mention Bandra Fair. If we're talking specifically about
Bandra Fair. My mother, poor thing, went to Bandra Fair. 2 hours later, we couldn't find her. It was the most embarrassing thing ever.
Oh, no.
And then she doesn't know Bandra, so she called up and said, I'm at a post box. I swear, Amit, this is true. So I said, Mom, but what post box? I don't know, it's a post box. So I said, it's like a box, like a 3-foot post. Yes. So I said, now I have to find a 3-foot post box somewhere in Bandra. Yes, I can't, there's nothing nearby to tell you. And then she's asking people, idhar kya hai, idhar kya hai, and no one wants to look at her because they're all, in the swarm, the mob.
Yeah.
God,
so all the religions really take us.
No, everyone does.
I'm glad you made it very secular very quickly.
No, it's all. It's everyone.
If you've been left out and you have a religion, please call us right now.
Yeah, if you're disrupting our peace, please.
So even the Jain people, they do it during their pollution stuff. Traffic in our area is nuts.
And in Delhi, I
remember. You
remember.
Want to tell me?
Have you seen they still have the bloody Ganpati Pandal still up there?
What's
on Ridge Road.
Have you seen? I don't know. You guys post Ganpati. Have you seen how many? Anybody who's a marine driver or Worli resident, have you seen how many Ganpatis are left in the sea?
Yeah, of course.
Because we've not done our homework. They come back. It's called tides. They just come back and it's just lying there.
Yeah. But yeah, talking about every religion, I remember when my parents had first moved to this house in Delhi, we spent the night up late, like putting stuff away. 5 o'clock in the morning, there was a Sikh Jagran. So every religion, 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, I'm glad. Don't forget, don't leave people out. Let's be secular.
I was just racking my brains. So you brought in the Jains, I thought I'd bring in the Sikhs.
Whoever we've left out, we apologize. Parsis will come to you. We do not Parsi jokes on any show. Okay, I think that's about time on this part of the show. Yeah. Thank you so much, Chavi and Amit, for being there. But I think we come back into the AMUs if you guys have the stamina.
AMAs.
AMA. What is AMU?
AMU is American something Texas University.
You guys figure it out while we take a break. And Chavi, please stop drinking so much water. Simple scientific rule I learned when I was young. What goes in must come out. But then you have your doctor. We'll take a break. We'll come back.
Cyrus Says, ask me anything. If you want Cyrus to answer your questions on air, send an email to whatcyrussays@gmail.com. If you send us a link to a sound file on SoundCloud, we'll even play you asking the question in your own voice. And that's what Cyrus Says.
And here, having a great time discussing murder, mayhem and mob mentality. 3 lovely M's that make this country glorious. It's time for the AMAs. Oh, there's one more M. I've just been told. Yes,
mob
please.
Mob mentality is 4 M's.
No, that's one word. So I'm going to spend 15 minutes arguing this point. I will go to the doctor with you. I will hold your hand. Be very careful.
No. Thank you. Let's move on to the AMA. All right, Cyrus. Valdez_Gio.
I love the Mexicans. When they write in, they really write in.
He does, but
I don't have anything.
He's got a little Parsi sympathy going on, and you'll know why, because he says, Cyrus, do Parsis feel a connect to the eccentric ones like Farrokh Bulsara, or do they just shy away?
Farrokh, as in
Freddie Mercury,
but why is he eccentric? He was just fantastic.
He was just,
eccentric. I mean, he's just like a normal
flamboyant.
Okay, when he wears those really tight pants and struts around stage.
Did you see the video of I Want to Break Free?
I want to break free every time.
With the little mini skirt and the muchi.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
It doesn't matter, he's just amazing, right?
I don't think as Parsis go, he's the most crazy person I've ever seen. I remember just the other day we had gone to Parsi General and my friend Kunal was with me and he was wearing a white shirt and a brown pant and this old lady in the wheelchair called him and said, "Hey, what boy? You get it! Get out! I started screaming at him. And, so, I mean, as far as Parsis go, we have a lot of eccentric ones, not so famous. But yeah, I think he doesn't get enough Parsi press.
So do you
He's
feel
probably
the
greatest Parsi in terms of popularity ever.
Does it touch your heart when you think of the eccentricity of the Parsis?
No, why would it touch my heart? Nothing touches me anymore after 40.
Nobody's touches you.
No, nobody.
Okay.
Except your damn doctor. I'm dying to go there. Doctor, my finger's paining. All right, take your pants off.
In the hospital. Jaren Jacob 009 says, saw you standing as a mannequin in one of the MTV shows. Why, God, why?
Yeah, so they have this show, I forgot the name. Anusha Dandekar is the host, and it's something to do with fashion and models, and the best model. It's a show about finding the finest model, one of those reality shows.
I think I saw this too.
Yeah, so she asked me to come on the show, and I had to do it. It was one episode, 2 hours work. And yeah, it was a little stupid. I had to stand like a mannequin, and it's a long story. But what I will tell Jaren Jacob is, Jaren Jacob, my friend, when you have 2 young kids and a small puppy and 2 aging parents, and you have to put bills and pay them, etc., you'll stand like a bloody mannequin if they pay you money. That's it. I hope I made my point.
All right, there's another question.
This is from that Chinu Bhai.
From Chinu Bhai, as Amit says. That says, do you know who Kamal R. Khan is, Cyrus?
Of course.
Okay.
Kamal R. Khan had a fight with a fake me.
What?
Because a couple of fake Twitter handles which weren't mine. And it went on so much so that I got calls from the Hindi press on my landline asking me, why are you abusing Kamal R. Khan and why is he fighting with you? How's it going to end? At that point, I didn't know who Kamal R. Khan was. So I thought it is this guy who came looking for work. So I said, no, I couldn't give him a job because we already have a guy in that position. And they thought it was really funny and they said they're going to tell him and all that. And then after some time I realized that there's this whole fight going on. And I was told by other people that, no, there's a fake profile of yours and whatever. So I've never met this guy. But we apparently hate each other.
Okay. So
but he's, India's a lovely country. There's a place for everyone. And I think people like to just shout above the rest and have their voice heard. And he's one of them.
Okay, now I'll come to the question, which is not really a question. It says, should Twitter delete KRK's profile? Let's all nod our heads in agreement. He is an idiot and doesn't respect women.
See, as much as I probably would not like people like that, I personally feel that once we open the internet like that, I'm against this censorship crap. I'm going to let people have their stupid views. Let's counter them. Let's not take it out personally.
Yeah. I mean, like the solution to bad speech is more speech. It's
more speech.
Yeah.
Yes,
and
not
people at the end of the day, people like us who go on mouthing off like mad gorillas, nobody listens to you after some time. Yeah. Have you noticed that? So don't worry.
There's always somebody idiotic out there who'll listen to everyone.
And honestly, let me tell you, I come from alpha female. So when it comes to standing up for women, I don't have a choice. I have to. All right? Let's be very open and honest about that. And for me, when people don't respect women and make these racist or prejudiced comments or bigoted comments over a period of time, why do we even worry? I mean, there are enough intelligent people out there. Let's hope. And if they're not, then we're all going to die anyway. Right?
Fair point.
If you're a rationalist, put your hand up and make sure you have deodorant. Yeah, go on.
What was that? Murder, mayhem, and?
Mob mentality.
Mob mentality.
The 3 M's which you made into 4.
Which are 4?
There's a 4th one, but it's a Punjabi word and it's used very frequently and not always nicely.
Matar paneer?
No, it's more like, oh, yaar, you.
No, before we do, I just, hey, everybody, please subscribe on iTunes and review us on iTunes. It's very, 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 very important. Please, thank you. Sorry.
Amit, that's a lovely thing. At last, a guest has come on the show and tried to plug it. And all these buggers come and we give them a credit and say, listen to his album and this is what he does.
Please subscribe on iTunes
and
review us, rate us, do all that.
Yes, about time somebody blows our trumpet. No pun intended, because we don't have anything here. God, thank you so much, Amit. I would hug you if I had, but I have to get up and go 3 feet, and you and I are not built like that. So let that go.
High five.
You were fantastic.
Always.
As usual. And your doctor and I have to have a long conversation, and then your father and I. But this will take some time.
Okay.
Until next time, it's from Cyrus Says, bye-bye. It's a bad mentality. MTV taught me to say bye at the end of the show. I don't understand why, because people put it off by the 7th or 8th minute normally. See you.
You're listening to Cyrus Says.
All views and opinions expressed on this show are not necessarily the views and opinions of the IndusVox Media Network or any of our show advertisers or sponsors. No animals were harmed in the making of this podcast, obviously.
All right, if you've listened to the show called Cyrus Says and you want your money back, let me tell you, that can't be done right now. But we can make you feel better if you listen to Made in India. That's M-A-E-D, Made in India, with May. There's no D in May. Although, maybe one day.